We're in Texas with Chevrolet driving the updated Tahoe.
Did you get that? The Tahoe in Texas. Hear that, Andrea?
The beauty of a V8.
No replacement for displacement. All right, let's start with the big dog, the one we're in first, and why don't we work backwards?
Okay.
What's under the hood of this thing?
A 6.2 liter V8 with 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. Now you can get an RST model with a performance package, and that's going to bump your power to 433 horsepower and 467 pound-feet of torque.
Now the base V8 is the 5.3 liter V8 with 355 horsepower, 383 pound-feet of torque.
And the second generation 3 liter inline 6 turbo diesel with 10% more horsepower than the previous model and an extra 7.6 pound-feet of torque. That gives it 305 horsepower and 495 pound-feet of torque. It's offered on all trims, including the Z71 or Z71, and that's for the very first time. Now, all these powertrains have a 10-speed automatic transmission with 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive options. Less 2-wheel drive options in Canada than in the US.
All right, so Tahoe has been updated with some big screens. Let's get into it. What are the key standard features?
The base model comes with a 17.7-inch touchscreen with Google built in, wireless, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, an 11-inch digital driver display, 6-speaker audio system, power front bucket seats, cloth upholstery, tri-zone automatic climate control, a manual liftgate, adaptive cruise control and HD surround vision, and Chevrolet Safety Assist.
Well, Andrea, we're in Texas. What can we still put it in?
Well, you've got to put it in, ask for subscribe. And if you can hit that notification bell, you'll be notified when all of our reviews drop, and then you can watch them.
I got a 6-shooter down here. All right, so we also do these twice a week. The first one drops on Wednesday.
We put another one out on Saturday.
And follow along on Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea to see what's going on behind the scenes. For me, it's Motormouth_Auto, and the links are below the like button. So we're in the 2025 Tahoe, Andrea. What's new?
Well, actually, quite a lot. There's been updates to the exterior, the interior. The exterior has new grille, new fascia. You've got new wheel designs across all trims. And then, of course, the interior with this standout 17.7-inch touchscreen and 11-inch digital driver display.
Now, what interests us, because we own a diesel, is the improved diesel powertrain. Big trucks like this really benefit from torque, so the improved torque and horsepower and amazing fuel economy. We were sitting around having a coffee with the engineers, and they often drive the diesel on long road trips and can't believe the fuel economy it gets.
Now, we don't have the official diesel numbers yet. They haven't been released, but the engineers tell us that even with this extra torque and horsepower, the numbers are probably going to be pretty much the same.
So we are big fans of these full-size body-on-frame General Motors trucks because you don't feel like you're driving a big truck. The handling is so good.
And I love the commanding seating position in here and the visibility. And when I come down the road, people move out of my way, which isn't a bad thing. Comfort level is so good in here. And there's different suspensions that are available in this RST model that we have with the 24-inch wheels that we're currently driving. It has
Wait a second. 24-inch wheels.
Yeah.
Is that crazy? Think about that. I remember in the 90s, Andrea, if you had 17-inch wheels on a car, you were baller.
I know.
And now it's 24 inches on a truck. That's nuts.
They're so beefy and they really suit this Tahoe. If you get the 24-inch wheels, they're available. You don't have to get them. We're driving the RST model with the available 24-inch wheels, and this one comes with magnetic ride control and air suspension if you get those 24-inch wheels, because you really want to continue to eat up those bumps in the road and have that more refined drive.
Yeah, so there are 3 different suspensions. You get your base suspension, which is shock absorbers and steel springs. Then you move up to steel springs with magnetic ride control. That's a highly advanced system. And then you can go all the way up to what Andrea just mentioned, which is the air suspension and magnetic ride control. So 3 levels of suspension depending on the trim you get. If you get the 24-inch wheels, you got to get that air suspension and magnetic ride control.
And there's new trailer technology available, and of course, Super Cruise.
So the upside to that air suspension is not only does it provide a nice ride for those big wheels, it also gives you extra lift if you want to go off-roading.
The Tahoe gets 8 inches of ground clearance, but with air suspension up to 10 inches.
So the maximum amount of travel from the lowest setting to the highest setting is 4 inches. 2 inches lower, 2 inches higher. Baseline is 8 inches, as Andrea mentioned.
What I'm really impressed with is that on the base model, Chevrolet has added so much driver assist technology. It is incredible. So you don't have to move up to the higher trims to get it. Things like blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert, lane keep assist, forward collision warning, but one big one is a 360 camera.
Do you notice that they all get the huge screen? Like, that's pretty amazing. That these things aren't inexpensive, right? The prices are high, but you get a lot of content.
And I think consumers are asking for more. Vehicles are going up in price. They're not inexpensive anymore in general. And consumers want more standard features, more value in vehicles.
So on the outside, there are 2 special grills, High Country and then the Z or Z71 get a bespoke grill. All the others are similar, but they all get the updated LED daytime running lights and turn signals.
Yeah, I think that the Tahoe has always had a real bold, rugged looking design. It has a real presence on road. It comes standard with 18-inch wheels, LED headlamps, LED tail lamps, available 20 to 22-inch wheels, and for the first time, as we mentioned earlier, the 24-inch wheels that are available on RST and High Country models. The Tahoe has a full-size spare tire.
Well, we touched on it already. The big update for the interior is the big screen. One thing about big screens, Andrea, I appreciate that they've gone to this massive screen, but all it really does is take all the stuff you usually do and just make it bigger.
Yes, but
that does allow more real estate for things like your HVAC controls.
And it does look quite modern. It's very streamlined and clean in here. For heated and ventilated front seats, which we have in our test model, you've got to go into the screen, but there is a tab on the bottom of the screen. There's still a volume knob, still temperature control knob. So, you know, just because many functions are done in the screen, I think that there's a pretty good balance in the Tahoe that I could get used to.
Well, obviously this is going to be used in cold climates and you want to be able to access the HVAC controls. It's still got the big knobs. And what they also did is put the shifter on the column here, which makes a massive center storage area here for your wireless charger, your plugs for your phone and coffee holders and everything. But look what's surrounding the coffee holders.
And you know, the thing is...
Shiny hard plastic.
Oh, shiny hard plastic, yeah. But not a ton in here. It's not bad. I think that there's a real mix of some nice materials. You've got soft touch, you've got some chrome, there's some different patterns in here. This RST model has got the red stitching. There's a new steering wheel in the Tahoe. And like Zach said, they've updated this center console, so there's more storage solutions.
Oh, wait.
This is just giant here.
This is carried over.
Yeah.
This is the caddy for the armrest that you can put back and forth, and Andrea can put her purse in there. There's a little hidden drawer as well, so that's kind of a neat thing. Oh, one of the engineers told us something this morning, Andrea. When they redid this dashboard for the new screen, they actually lowered the instrument panel down, so when you're sitting here it's more car-like than truck-like. And the one thing about driving a big boxy vehicle like this, big boxy vehicles are easy to see the corners. It's surprising how easy they are to maneuver.
And parallel parking. Turning radius on this is excellent. No issue with maneuverability. We do a lot of city driving ourselves, but it's sure nice being in Texas on this open road.
Do you know what they have in Texas?
Just really take off in this thing.
You know what they have in Texas? They got a lot of space.
Yeah.
For us to drive.
Which is not a bad thing. Now, storage in here is excellent. You've got the door pockets with plenty of storage. There's even storage on the side of the center console. And this thing is really big. The Tahoe is a 7 to 9 passenger vehicle, depending on the model you choose and the configurations. In the rear, you can either get captain's chairs or a bench seat, but on the base model, there's also an offering of a bench seat in the front row. And there are different interior color options. Premier has a black and gray interior. You see this RST model that we're driving. High Country has authentic wood, which is a first for Tahoe. The best value trim goes to the LT model, offering additional comfort and those convenience features like leatherette upholstery, heated front seats, driver's seat memory, a wireless charger, and a power liftgate.
Available features include a 15-inch head-up display, 10-speaker Bose sound system, ventilated front seats, 12-way power front seats, driver's seat memory, a heated steering wheel, heated rear seats, rear seat entertainment, a panoramic sunroof, and an autosense power liftgate. Well, the reason you buy a big rig like this is to move everybody in comfort. When you get into the back seat, there is plenty of leg room, good headroom. Of course, the seats slide fore and aft, and they recline. How does this stack up?
Comparing the Tahoe to the Ford Expedition, the Tahoe has 44.5 inches of front row legroom and 42 inches of second row legroom, which is half an inch more than the Ford in each row.
The second row seats flip and fold out of the way, and you basically walk into the third row. Once you're in place, there's really good amount of legroom, good headroom, and your knees are at a good position. How does it stack up?
Third row legroom for the Tahoe is 34.9 inches, which is over an inch less than the Expedition.
Lifting the power tailgate, there's a lot of space even with all 3 rows of seats up. Underneath the floor is a thin but useful cargo space. How does it stack up?
The Tahoe's space behind the third row is 25.5 cubic feet. Space behind the second row, 72.6 cubic feet. And overall cargo space is 122.7 cubic feet, which is bigger than the Expedition in all areas.
Okay, now we're going to get into the vital stats. Price, these things are not inexpensive, but I want you to pay attention to the diesel fuel economy.
Let's start with pricing. We'll do Canada first and then move on to the US. This is MSRP. The base model starts at just under $75,000 and the top High Country is just under $103,000. In the US, the base model starts at $61,500 and High Country is just over $81,000.
Here's the fuel economy. The most popular model is the 5.3 liter. It gets 15.9 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 12.5 on the highway. That's 15 miles per gallon city, 19 miles per gallon on the highway. We don't have the official fuel economy numbers for the diesel just yet. The engineers say they'll be very similar to the 2024 model, and here they are. 11.7 liters per 100 kilometers city, 9 on the highway. That's 20 miles per gallon city, 26 miles per gallon highway. The Tahoe can tow 8,400 pounds, and the warranty is 3 years, 60,000 kilometers, or 36,000 miles. So you want a full-size body-on-frame SUV? Well, this is the best seller, but what else can you choose?
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
Up first is the new Ford Expedition with a 3.5-liter turbocharged V6, 400 horsepower. Pricing has not been announced yet for this new model, but 2024 starts at $80,500.
The Jeep Wagoneer with a 3-liter twin-turbo inline-6, 420 horsepower, and a starting price over $98,000.
The Nissan Armada with a twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6, 425 horsepower. Pricing has not been announced for this new model, but the 2024 starts at $76,500.
The GMC version of this is called Yukon with a 5.3-liter V8 with 355 horsepower and a starting price over $80,000.
So there are 4 full-size SUVs for you to consider.
Lightning round, 2 things we like, 2 things we'd like to see improved.
I'm really happy that they're offering a diesel powertrain.
That's what I was going to say, Andrea.
How about just all the options?
Yeah, this is really well equipped, and it should be for the price.
Man, the price is getting up there.
That's what I was going to say, Andrea.
Well, we agree.
Well, great minds think alike. Okay, so there it is. It's the updated 2025 Tahoe. What do you think of that?
Thanks for watching, and if you like what you see, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.